Hello everyone, and thanks for joining in on this video. Just wanted to mention too that be getting on quite a bit more often starting next week. So had a little bit of a lull or a busy period, and so getting back in the swing of more regular videos and live streams and stuff like that. So today we're going to look at the second chorus of Metheny solo, or one of Metheny's solos on All the Things You Are. And I'm going to just kind of take a look at kind of the contours of some of the lines and just generally think about the direction that the line wants to go in, or where maybe a note tends to want to lead. So let's jump right into this here. So I'm going to start right here with these 4 notes. Okay, we're going to play those right up here. So we'll use the slur as well. All right, let's see if we can break those notes down and survey what we have just kind of from low to high in general, stacked in thirds. So we would have a B flat, a D flat, an F, and an A flat. Okay. So we can see that we kind of have an arpeggio here of a B flat minor. Now that's being played over the harmony of a C7. Okay, so that's a little interesting in and of itself. So we have this line, and now the next few notes that come up, just play maybe 4 more notes here. Okay, we have, okay, it's a similar kind of contour, right? But a few differences in the intervals that are used. Okay, but it's heading down, and maybe the steps are a little closer together, or the intervals are a little closer together. Now that's being played over F minor. You see it's a little bit out, so it almost sounds more like a C7 altered at that moment. And we'll get to some ideas on what may be going on here in just a moment, but let's just survey another group of 4 notes here. Okay, then we end on 10. We end on this. Okay, and then actually ends up on this note, the A flat here, but there. So let's get back to where we started from here. So we had a B flat minor. Now if we have a let's say a G minor 7, flat 5, or a G7, or some predominant before the C7. Let's think about different predominants that we might use. So those are maybe some options. G half diminished, G7, but also B flat minor, or B flat minor 6. Okay, so we may say that, okay, he's playing more maybe a predominant sound on the dominant chords. So some of the chords are delayed, and this is a technique that we can use in our own improvisation. Okay. All right. So, and that would explain here this sound, which is the sound that's, let's say, pretty fitting with a C7, maybe with altered nines in it, but a natural fifth. Okay, and we can hear that here on this 2 beats later, after F minor has been played, that we end up on a consonant. And actually, you know, sounds like we end there on the A flat. But later here on the B flat minor. Okay, so let's go on. Okay, and that ends on a dissonance here. Or actually ends on, ends on a, the flat third of the B minor. So there's a little takeaway that you could maybe use to either play a chord early or late, you know, by a certain amount, maybe 2 beats. Okay, then we have these short little phrases here. Let's say 8 slide to 6. Okay, let's see what's going on there. So we have E flat 7. Gonna land on this third. And he's got us going from the fifth of that, landing on a pretty severe dissonance sort of sound, and a flat 9, which is gonna draw us even stronger into the consonants there. So that's a really nice line. Okay. So that's a nice line, you know, say play, let's say you have a single chord, you want to create a little dissonance. And this major third shape is something that you hear a lot in Metheny's playing. Okay, and he's gonna resolve it there. So let's go a little further. So we play another resolved tone here. So we have the third of the A flat major 7. Okay. All right, well, let's keep moving along here a little bit here. Okay, so we have, okay, now this is interesting, right? Because we have A flat, but we're hearing this E flat major triad, so we're getting a little dissonance on the A flat. Okay, interesting that we go to A flat and C, which are 2 tones that help to identify the A flat, but at that point we're on D flat major. Okay, so that's interesting. So let's take it from there and look at, take it in blocks of 4 eighth notes here. So we have, okay, that's a pretty bright sound. So we have a D flat. Okay, you want to be aware that this is the 5th, 7, 6, flat 9. Okay, so that's going to be pretty dissonant. Okay, and then we're going to land on the root note. Okay. Okay, so we're coming out of this. Okay, now we have okay, so we have an interval here. We have whole step, and then we're gonna get that back to that same major third that we were on a minute ago. And then next he's gonna set that up, and that's gonna fall into the G7. Okay, so again, this shape that we see, I'll switch screens here. The major third across strings. Okay, that's something that comes up quite a bit. Okay, so he might play, or, okay. So here's another instance where we have, okay, so we have that major third across two strings. So that comes up quite a bit. All right, so now we're on G7. Okay, so this we see, that's pretty inside the sound of what we have. We do have a flat 9 on that. And we have the 11, which are both dissonances. Okay, and then we get more of the chord tones there, D, F, and D. Okay, so a nice line. Okay, and then that's gonna resolve, right? This is a very natural resolution here. This is kind of built in to our musical system, if you will. So we have, right? So so, re, mi, fa, excuse me, fa, re, mi. That's a very natural resolution. So, mi, do. He plays a major triad there. Okay. So why would he be fairly obvious about that? Well, maybe that just happened to be what happened in that moment. But you might also think that, okay, this is C major. Up to this point we've been in A flat major. So it's a pretty certain and fairly abrupt shift, right? And you might call this a chromatic mediant. Okay, because in the you have 4 flats, right? You have the mediant would be the C minor, okay, but this one is C major, right? So he may just be wanting to spell that out clearly. Hard to say. Okay. Great, so let's go on a little further, see what we can find out here, gain some insights. Okay, so we know we're on C major, and we're approaching C minor, so that's coming up. Okay, we get a little chromaticism there, right? and then a lot more. Okay. So we've done a little bit of talking about bebop scales and all that. So let's talk a little bit more about that. So if we have, let's say C, let's say we have C minor. Okay, let's say we have that. If we had a say, so we had these little connecting points. Okay, then we can kind of justify that. We can say, okay, that kind of makes sense. The 6, flat 6, resolving to the 5th of the C minor. Okay, so that kind of makes sense. Okay, and then we get this shape again. So the major third. Now he changes it up a little bit from there. Okay. All right, but that's an important feature of his playing, is those major thirds. So we can see those coming in. So let's take a look at that line. Okay. So those little chromatic kind of passages there. All right, well, let's carry on a little bit here. There we go. All right, we'll take a look at a little bit more here. So as we're rolling along, we have the third of the F minor. No surprises there. Okay, so that's all, I say, fairly inside. Okay, and then we get to the B flat. Okay, so we have, then we have an early resolution on the E flat. So it's a beat before E flat actually comes in. Okay, and we can fairly clearly hear that that's a pretty standard line or resolution from B7, or from any dominant 7. So it's got third, flat 9, root, flat 7, and then lands on the third of the E flat major. Okay. We do have a little bit of a suspension ahead of that. So you might say that the predominant is just hanging over by a beat into that measure with the B flat. So we can see there's a little bit of an elasticity to the harmony inside the melody line or the improvised line. Right? So where we can stretch a certain chord, maybe by an extra beat, contract, in this case, the B flat 7, that's just kind of contracted into 2 beats there, beats 2 and 3, and then resolve on the third of the E flat major, which has been expanded over into that measure, so beat early. Okay, we go over to our A flat again. Okay. All right, so okay, so we have the Lydian sound, which makes sense because we've modulated into the key of 3 flats. Okay, so next up we're gonna head towards G major, And we have the D7. So let's see what he does here. Okay, nice. So we get some of those similar shapes that we've had before. We do this in the opposite order. So he plays that major third across two strings, and then we do the major third in the opposite direction. Same one. Okay, and then we land on 4. I'm gonna go ahead a little bit, but that's our line on that. It starts on the major third, which is an important, or actually starts on the flat third. So, but it does land on the third of the D sharp on beat 4. So that's interesting. Okay, and then we're heading out towards G. Let's go a bit further. Try to follow the tab as much as I can here. We get a little bit of chromaticism there. Okay. All right, so what do we have here? So we have, almost sounds a little more like he's thinking in terms of D7 there. Okay, and then back to the G. Okay, and the little back and forth kind of between, maybe a D to G, maybe a D7 flat 9. Okay, kind of speculation here, but so a little bit kind of back and forth, 5 1 5 1. Okay, and here, it would seem that's more of a G major kind of sound. Okay, but right here we're on A minor 7 again. Good bit of alterations on it. We get to the D7. Okay, that's pretty interesting. So we're pivoting on that G sharp there. So that's a pretty outside sound. Okay. Okay. All right, so pretty interesting there. That G sharp or that A flat is it's pretty dissonant. Okay, now we're heading out to our new key area here. Key of 3 sharps. Okay, let's see, that's on B flat, or B7, B natural. All right, so we have okay, so we land on the 5th of the E major. Okay. 4, the 4 is going to work with Fa, Mi, so that's a basic pattern there. Then we get 6, 4, yeah, so it's going back. Okay, so we get 4. Okay, so he's encircling the 3rd. Okay, so we're going above the 3rd, below the 3rd, and then onto the 3rd, to the 5th. Okay, moving on here. So we've got, yeah, interesting that they don't include this chord change, but in the chord there's there should be a C augmented chord here. So he plays a C7 with a sharp 9. Thing there. Okay. See if this will align itself. All right, so now we're gonna go head back into key of 4 sharps kind of territory here. So. Okay. Plays that on F minor, B flat minor. Okay, so that's interesting. So he's kind of changing the quality of the chord there. Okay, this is going to give us a little more pull than A flat would. So he's playing that. Okay, again, this is very common for him to play this kind of shape. Okay, we've seen that quite a few times in this solo. Okay. All right, so what do we have here? So we're on A flat. We get the third. So he's kind of making his way over. So you might think about these bebop scales we've been talking about. So he's making his way over there. And this is a good example of, you know, if you are working on bebop scales and things like that, to try to make lines out of them rather than just playing them in sequence. So here we have. Right. So that's a good example of taking something like the bebop scale and actually writing a line out of it. Okay, so we get to D flat major 7. Okay, and interesting choice on that. Well, why would he choose to do this rather than the major 7? Well, the flat 7 is coming up on this chord because this chord is about to change. So that's coming in a beat earlier. It gives us a little momentum. Gives us a little surprise. So B flat minor. Okay. It's a little bit of chromatic thing going. He's got these whole steps going. A little bit of a chromatic thing happening. Okay, this is over. B diminished. Okay, and then we have B minor, B flat minor, excuse me. All right, so we have E flat 7. Okay. Again, probably thinking a little bit ahead to this A flat major 7. 11, that would be the 9. Root 11. G7. Okay, and then moving into the third chorus there. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for checking this out. I do hope you enjoyed it, and let me know what you think and what you're interested in hearing about. If you like these kinds of solo analysis kinds of things, or chord melody or theory, what have you, let me know, and I'll be happy to tailor it to your needs. All right, I'll see you all in the next one.